In a picturesque town nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, life moved at a gentle pace. The townspeople knew each other by name, shared stories at the marketplace, and celebrated festivals together. Yet, among the familiar faces lived two young souls destined to teach everyone a lesson about love. Alia and Rayyan. Alia was admired for her kindness. She worked at a small local clinic, helped elderly neighbors with chores, and volunteered wherever she was needed. Her heart overflowed with empathy, though her life had never been easy. Rayyan, a humble craftsman, ran a tiny workshop repairing furniture and tools. Though his income was modest, he possessed wisdom and patience far beyond his years. Together, they shared a love that was quiet, tender, and resilient, a love that would soon be tested in ways neither could imagine. Life, however, had a way of demanding sacrifice from those who cared most. One fateful night, a fire broke out in Rayyan's workshop, consuming most of his tools and materials. With no income and the looming fear of debts, Rayyan's future seemed uncertain. Alia, heart heavy with worry, made a choice that would define their love. She would help him rebuild, not with pity, but with devotion and determination. Rayyan received an opportunity to work on a larger project in a distant city, promising money that could stabilize his life. But it required leaving for months. Alia faced a choice: continue her own life, or support Rayyan while he pursued this opportunity. Choosing the latter, Alia worked tirelessly to manage his workshop, repair what she could, and keep the business afloat. She sacrificed sleep, meals, and her own comfort. Her neighbors noticed her relentless effort, and some even warned her that she was giving too much. One evening, Rayyan returned briefly, and found her exhausted, sitting among scattered tools and papers. "Alia, you shouldn't do all this alone," he said, concern evident in his voice. Alia smiled faintly, brushing soot from her hands. "Love isn't about keeping score. It's about giving when it matters most, even if it costs you something." That night, she lay awake, feeling the quiet satisfaction of helping someone she loved, understanding that the true magic of love comes from selfless giving. As Rayyan worked in the distant city, Alia's days were filled with challenges. She taught herself woodworking skills, mended broken furniture, and even handled clients who came for repairs. Every day presented a test of patience, endurance, and devotion. Though she often went hungry, to ensure the workshop had supplies, Alia never complained. Her joy came from the knowledge that her actions allowed Rayyan to succeed, and that her love could help sustain his dreams. Letters arrived from Rayyan. "Alia, your efforts are my guiding light. I feel your love in every step I take, every decision I make. You've given me strength I never knew I had." Reading these words, Alia whispered, "This is all I ever wanted. To give without asking for anything in return." Their love, once quiet, now radiated a magical energy. Friends began to notice how selfless acts could inspire and change people's lives. The town was struck by an unexpected flood, damaging homes and livelihoods. Rayyan's family was among those affected. Alia immediately sprang into action. She organized relief efforts, coordinated volunteers, distributed food and blankets, and worked to repair homes. Despite exhaustion, she stayed by the side of children and families, offering comfort and hope. "We may not have much, but we have each other," she told a frightened child, holding her hands tightly. Rayan, watching from afar, realized that money alone could not solve problems. Only love, effort, and sacrifice could truly heal. He sent instructions, encouragement, and small funds, but the real magic came from Alia's tireless work, and her heart full of compassion. Neighbors remarked on her devotion. "Why do you give so much?" one asked. Alia replied softly, "Because love asks nothing but our hearts, and in giving that, we create something stronger than fear, loss, or pain." The flood passed, but the lessons endured. Alia and Ryan had proven that love combined with selfless action can overcome any hardship. Months passed. Ryan's project was completed successfully. The workshop rebuilt, and the town had recovered. Yet, the true reward was not material. It was the transformation in hearts. Alia's selfless love had inspired the town. People began volunteering, helping neighbors, and sharing acts of kindness without expectation. Alia and Ryan's love grew stronger. They realized that giving without expecting anything in return was the most powerful magic of all. Their bond became a source of inspiration. Young couples learned from their example, and older townspeople remembered what it meant to care selflessly. Ryan once said, "Alia, your love is a force that money, power, and status could never match. You've shown me the true magic of life." She smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. "Love itself is magic, Ryan. When it comes from the heart, it transforms everything." Years later, Alia and Ryan married in a quiet ceremony by the river. Their love story spread across the town, teaching generations that true wealth is measured by the lives touched, and the hearts changed, not by possessions or wealth. The town thrived, not just because of repairs or material gifts, but because people had learned the value of selfless giving. Alia and Ryan continued their work, helping the elderly, supporting struggling families, mentoring youth, and spreading kindness wherever they went. Their story became a legend, a living proof that true love asks for nothing, but the heart acts of selflessness create lasting joy and connection. The greatest treasures in life are invisible to the eye. Alia often said to Ryan, "We have no riches other than love, but it is more valuable than anything gold could buy." Ryan nodded. And that is the real magic of selfless love. It never fades, it never diminishes, and it changes the world quietly, one heart at a time. The story of Alia and Ryan reminds us, love is not about possession, it is about giving. Selfless acts, no matter how small, have the power to transform lives. True magic comes from the heart, not from wealth, status, or recognition. In a world chasing material riches, their story shines as a beacon. The richest hearts are those that give without expecting, sacrifice without resentment, and love without limits. This is the enduring magic of selfless love, a treasure that lasts forever. In a quiet corner of a bustling city, gas lamps flickered along cobblestone streets, and snow drifted lazily onto rooftops. In this modest neighborhood lived Della and Jim, a young married couple with little money, but immense love for each other. Their apartment was small, with creaking floorboards and a single, modest window overlooking the street. Yet it was warm with laughter and shared dreams. Della worked tirelessly at the local shop, mending clothes for neighbors and helping anyone in need. Jim spent long hours at a small office, keeping ledgers and ensuring his work was precise, despite meager wages. Together, they lived modestly, but their hearts were rich with devotion, shared hopes, and the unspoken understanding that love could endure any hardship. As December arrived, the chill in the air reminded Della that Christmas was near. She longed to give Jim a gift worthy of his love, but her savings amounted to just $1.87. Every evening, after dinner, Della would sit by the window and watch the snow fall, imagining what gift could express her deep love. She thought of Jim's gold watch, a family heirloom passed down from generations, a symbol of his dedication, patience, and family pride. How could she honor him when their pockets were empty? Meanwhile, Jim wrestled with the same dilemma. He remembered how Della loved to admire her own reflection, brushing and tying her long, beautiful hair with care. He dreamed of giving her something that would show his devotion, yet his pay barely covered necessities. The tension built within both hearts, creating suspense. Each wanted to give a meaningful gift, but neither had the means. Their love would be tested in ways they could not yet imagine. Della, determined to find a way, decided to sell her most prized possession, her long flowing hair, which she adored. It was her beauty and her pride, but more than that, it was a part of her identity. Selling it was a painful choice. Yet she knew it would allow her to purchase a fine gold chain for Jim's beloved watch. At the hair market, she hesitated as the scissors approached. A mixture of sorrow and hope filled her heart. When the cut was complete, she felt the sting of sacrifice, but also a warm sense of purpose. Her love could now manifest into a tangible gift for the man she cherished most. Unbeknownst to Della, Jim had made a similar decision. He sold his treasured gold watch, the symbol of his family heritage and hard work, to purchase a set of elegant combs for Della's hair, which she had long admired but never owned. Both were willing to give up their most valued possessions. Acts of love intertwined in irony, yet rich with meaning. Christmas morning arrived. Della awoke early, her hair tied back, and wrapped Jim's gift carefully, trembling with anticipation. She imagined the joy in his eyes when he opened it, hoping it would reflect the depth of her love. Meanwhile, Jim prepared Della's gift, imagining her delight as she received the combs, picturing her smile as the sunlight caught them glinting against her hair. The suspense of the moment built slowly, emphasizing the emotional stakes, the culmination of sacrifice, devotion, and hope. Della handed Jim the gift. His eyes widened, glimmering with astonishment and love, as he revealed the gold chain meant for his watch. Then Jim presented Della's gift, the combs. Della gasped, her hand flying to her now short hair. They both paused, realizing the irony. The gifts they had sacrificed so much to give could no longer serve their intended purpose. Yet in that small, modest apartment, amid the glow of the gas lamp and the soft hum of winter outside, they experienced a profound truth. Their love was more valuable than any material object. Their sacrifices, though seemingly ironic, revealed the ultimate lesson. True wealth lies not in possessions, but in the depth of love and selflessness. In the days that followed, Della and Jim shared their story with neighbors and friends, who reflected on its lesson. People in their community realized that giving from the heart, even when resources are scarce, is the essence of generosity. They witnessed small acts multiply, neighbors helping each other, children learning the joy of giving, and the community embracing compassion. The lesson of Della and Jim became timeless. Sacrificing for love enriches the soul and strengthens bonds beyond measure. Years later, Della and Jim remained together, their love enduring. They had little material wealth, but their hearts were immeasurably rich. They taught future generations that true wealth comes from love, not possessions. Sacrifice is a gift that strengthens bonds. Genuine happiness is born from selflessness. Even as the world changed, their story endured. The gifts they exchanged on that snowy Christmas morning became symbols of a timeless truth. Love, sacrifice, and devotion are the richest treasures one can possess. Della often whispered, "No gold or jewels could ever match what we have given each other." Jim smiled, holding her hand. And that is the lesson of true wealth. It is measured in hearts, not coins. In the quiet town of Eldoria, where rolling hills met sparkling rivers, lived Lila and Armin, childhood friends whose bond had blossomed into a profound love. Life in Eldoria was simple. Neighbors knew each other's names. Children played along cobblestone streets, and the marketplace was always lively. Lila, gentle and compassionate, spent her days working at the infirmary, caring for the sick, and helping the elderly. She often sacrificed her own comfort to ensure others' happiness. Armin, son of a humble carpenter, ran the family workshop. Though his income was modest, he had a wisdom that earned respect from all. Together, they shared dreams of a life built not on wealth, but on devotion, trust, and the courage to face challenges side by side. Their love was calm yet powerful, a quiet flame that neither distance nor hardship could easily extinguish. One winter night, disaster struck. Armin's workshop caught fire, destroying nearly everything. The town rallied, but the losses were immense. Tools were gone, unfinished projects ruined, and his family faced financial hardship. An opportunity arose for Armin. A large, distant project that could restore his family's livelihood. But it required leaving for months. Lila made a courageous choice. She would manage his workshop, care for his family, and keep the business running in his absence. She sacrificed her comfort, working from dawn until dusk. Many nights she went without sleep, repaired broken tools, and handled difficult clients, all without complaint. When Armin returned briefly, he saw her exhausted, sitting amid scattered tools and soot. "Lila, why are you doing this alone?" he asked, eyes full of concern. She smiled softly. "Love isn't about comfort, Armin. It's about sacrifice without fear. If we truly love, we give, no matter the cost." That night, as she lay down exhausted, she realized the first truth of their love. The greatest power in life comes from fearless devotion. Weeks passed. Armin's project in the city was challenging. Lila handled the workshop alone, often skipping meals, sacrificing personal comforts, and dedicating herself fully to the work. Her love for Armin was evident in every choice: repairing a broken table for a customer, comforting his mother, or encouraging young apprentices learning the craft. Each act of selflessness strengthened their bond. Armin sent letters daily. Lila, every day I think of your courage. You give without expecting, sacrifice without fear, and love without conditions. You are my strength and my inspiration. Lila whispered to herself. This is the power of love, giving, even when it costs you everything. Through small acts of devotion, she discovered that selfless love has a magical ability to transform hearts and lives. Not just her own, but those around her. A violent storm struck Eldoria, flooding streets and homes. Armin's workshop, which Layla had worked tirelessly to restore, was damaged again. Families lost belongings, children were frightened, and the town faced a crisis. Lila sprang into action. She coordinated volunteers, delivered food and supplies, comforted terrified children, and repaired damaged property, all while still maintaining the workshop. A neighbor asked, Lila, why risk so much? She replied, because love is the greatest power. Sacrifice without fear changes lives. It inspires, uplifts, and heals. Armin, watching from afar, realized that her love was more powerful than any tool, skill or wealth. He knew he could never repay her, but he could honor her devotion by living a life worthy of her courage. The storm passed, leaving destruction behind, but it also revealed the strength, resilience, and transformative power of selfless love. Months passed. The workshop was restored, the town rebuilt, and life gradually returned to normal. Yet the greatest change was in the people of Eldoria. Inspired by Lila, neighbors began helping each other, mentoring youth, and volunteering for the elderly. Armin returned home permanently, deeply moved by Lila's fearless sacrifice. He realized that love's greatest power isn't in words, gifts, or promises, but in fearless action, dedication, and selfless care. Together, they taught the town the lessons they had learned. Love asks for courage, sacrifice brings joy. Giving without expectation transforms hearts. Young couples sought advice from them, and families turned to their example for inspiration. Eldoria became a town where selfless love was visible in every act, creating a community strengthened by compassion. Years later, Layla and Armin married in a quiet riverside ceremony. Their children grew up witnessing the power of selfless love in action. The town remembered their story for generations, understanding that true love measures courage, not comfort. Sacrifice without fear leaves a lasting legacy. The richest hearts are those willing to give, even when it hurts. Lila often whispered to Armin, love isn't about what we receive, it's about what we give. Armin smiled. And the greatest power of love is fearless sacrifice. Its magic never fades, it only grows with each act of devotion. Together, they lived as an example of love that heals, inspires, and transforms. Eldoria thrived, not because of wealth or comfort, but because of the magical power of sacrifice without fear. Conclusion: the true power of love, 65-68 minutes. The story of Lila and Armin teaches that love is fearless when it is selfless. Sacrifice is a gift, not a burden. The greatest power in life comes from giving your heart fully,